Hello, this is Pro Machine back with some more Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So the last video I did on this was just a stream, which I saved and then I uploaded to YouTube. Now I'm recording directly locally because what I decided I would like to do is, I did that stream and I thought that it was interesting and worthwhile, but didn't really fit the format very well. I thought that, oh, you'll notice that these items that are supposed to be here are gone, and that's because I had a little bit of a recording mishap where the screen was not getting captured properly. So let me ensure now, yes, the screen preview is in fact capturing the game. Though not in quite the same way as the game is rendering here, which is a little bit interesting. The emulator is currently rendering, like, the purple of the background is extending way to both ends of the screen, whereas the capture on OBS is only showing it cutting off at the edges and turning black there. It's not really something about the game, but I still think it's kind of interesting. So anyway, I thought that I'd do this. I'm calling the series, like, Close Play of Symphony of the Night, and that's sort of an analogous thing to like a close read of a book, where I'm going to be going through and paying a lot of attention to as before, with the graphics and how those are set up and what's interesting about them and how the gameplay works, and generally just trying to comment in a really sort of analytical style about what I think the strengths and weaknesses of the game are and what we can learn from it and all that good stuff. This cloud background is one of my favorite things in the game. I like that you're both above and below the clouds, and the way, like, it's obvious it's just a limitation of what they could do, but that the completely flat clouds, like, that provide this plane of fast-moving clouds, almost like a river. It's so surreal and cool. I might just have to just completely rip it off someday, because it's such an interesting effect. Especially in the reverse castle, where this entire sort of ocean of clouds is beneath you as you run. I mean, you sort of have that effect with the ones down below me here, but it's much stronger in the reverse castle. So I'm going to be trying to make these about a half hour each, give or take. And I would have split the first one up into 3 half-hour videos, but I was getting a content ID match. Unfortunately, apparently Konami really wants to hang on to the, I'm sure, massive profits from this 20-year-old game and the streaming and recording of play videos thereof. Wait a minute. Interesting. I'll describe what's interesting in just a moment here after I don't have to deal with this guy. So, in my previous observations of this game, I thought that the only slopes that this game used were 45-degree or 1-to-1 slopes. These are half that, like 27.5-degree or 2-to-1 slopes, like where it raises 1 tile for every 2 that it moves horizontally. But they also have half tiles here. Like, these are only half as thick as most tiles in the game. It's weird, I don't recall seeing these anywhere else in this game. And I'm very sensitive to these tile slope things because I spent so fucking long programming the collision detection for my game. I might want to have half tiles like these for mine, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll be worth it. They probably won't be too hard to implement, but it's another thing in an already very complicated system. I feel like I should be able to read this plaque. See, look, here's more shadows that they just layer on top. Which is the sort of thing that, you don't notice much when you're playing, but that's actually, like, can't do that easily with like old SNES graphics. There's one transparent layer. I think SNES supports one transparency layer on top, and I think that might have to be on top of everything else. I'm not sure if you can have the transparency layer underneath the platform, underneath the platform like they have it here. Oh, I should unlock the transport room. I just picked up Tyrfing, which is a sword that always does 1 damage, no matter what. And it's so disappointing. You know, like, I was certain when I played this game that when I was young that there must be some way to uncurse that sword. There isn't. Maybe they wanted to have one and it never happened, but oh well. I tried so many different things, and I hoped so hard that you could do it. It's like the trying to save Eris, but of this game. And also, at the original rendering, there's a little graphics glitch on top of those things that made it look like there were a couple spikes on top. That isn't being emulated, apparently. So I changed the renderer to a different one, and it seems to be working much better so far. It looks a little bit crisper, and I haven't noticed any slowdown or music skipping yet. Feels like there's a little bit of input delay. I don't know whether that's the emulator or my controller or my computer. So that's the bottom of the 3D tower that we saw at the intro. And this has the same cloud effect. The clouds are moving so fast too, which is part of what makes it crazy. It's like a time-lapse thing, the speed at which the clouds are moving. Oh, and these guys are exactly as annoying as their ground-bound counterparts, if not somewhat more so. Oh, we got the double jump. That's the biggest, most important thing to get in the game. It also gives me this sweet jump kick, which I semi-copied for my game. I made it so you can do sort of a dive motion like that, but it doesn't do damage. It's just a way to move downwards quickly. Also, I really love this animation, where just for 1 frame, this cloak turns into wings. Okay. Well, that's all I can do here for now. Now let's go back to the library and... Wait, no. I can't do library yet. Clock tower... Oh shit, I skipped the one of these that was in the outer tower. That was a mistake. This brick texture in the background looks very similar to some of the textures they use elsewhere. I can't get back up the waterfall. I kind of fucked this up. I can. Oh, okay, yeah, I can get up into Olrox's quarters now. And that will let me go to the Colosseum, which has the mist form, which I need to get the bat form. See, like those bricks there, they don't have the same color or texture, but it feels like maybe the line work for them is the same, and they just change the details. I don't know. It's weird. Like, they're too different enough to be the same thing, but they're too similar to be entirely separate things. I took a lot of damage there. Colosseum also has the shield rod, which is potentially one of the most powerful, but always one of the most interesting items in the game. Oops. Fucking ghosts. I want that. I mentioned before how much I love that hokey little scream that they do. All of the voice effects in this game, aside from the actual voice acting, are just so good. Ooh. Yeah, you gotta get in between and get right up in there, or they can just really bounce you around and pick you apart. I'm hoping my levels are okay here. The game sounds a little bit loud to me. I don't know whether that will be too loud in the video, but I'll give it a listen and we'll find out. Neutron bomb. The thing about this game is its inconsistency is actually its strongest trait, I think. Just the fact that it's willing to be, like, fucking crazy is so good. I should probably use a library card at some point here. Whoa. I thought maybe the top of my character was getting cut off there. Now there's a few things I can pick up in these side areas here, now that I have double jump. I could already go up here. I got a relic there. The one that lets me see damage, that's a nice one to have. But that's right, you still can't get up there. That's not a very useful item anyway. You might think, you know, look at it and think, oh sweet, a warhammer or something. No, that's just it's a hammer that cures petrification. And the thing about that is you can't even use it when you're petrified. You need to have a familiar use it for you. Because you're petrified, you can't change your... You might be able to change your equipment, but you can't throw it out and pick it up. Which is how you use healing items in this game. Let's save real quick, just in case. See, you can really clearly see the difference in how this save point is rendered. Before, the textures were very pixelated, in a way that is actually I would prefer, since that's more faithful to the original version of the game. But this, you know, if it's going to perform better, that's more important to me. I mean, again, my number one preference would be to just, like, run it with a capture card, but that's not feasible right now. We gotta wait for this statue to move. This one over here can move too. Oh, right. I remember how to get that one to move. You need you need the stopwatch to make it move. There's one right over here. Isn't there? Shit, I thought there was. God damn it. I could have sworn there was a stopwatch there. Well, where is it then? It must be back the other way. Shit. Going horizontally, the wolf is faster. And it's not in here? I so could have sworn it was. It must be a room that looks very similar or something. Is it in here? No? You know, let's do this first. I'll just remember to do that next time I'm in this area. I'm gonna have to go back there anyway for, I think it's the Alucard stuff and whatnot that's at the middle. Oh, right. See, they always send you flying, so you can see how that would combo nastily. This is one of my favorite tracks in the game. So in here, this stuff, the texture of the marble seems to be just kind of a purlin noise texture. But I like that they add some details on top of that too. It's a really nice detail there. I'm not sure if that's used anywhere else even. Oh, I really like these railings too. I need to remember to add some stuff like this. And this game generally avoids foreground stuff so much. This is an unusual detail for them to have, and I think it's really nice. I think that's an upgrade. Yep. Substantial one. It seems like it's even faster, actually. You'd expect it to be a little bit slower. It also has better range. Oops. It seems like, yeah, there's a little bit of a graphics glitch there. I'll look up how to fix that later. I mean, that's a fairly minor specific one, so I'm not too concerned about it. This guy can be a little bit nasty. Fortunately, I apparently got some decent defense at some point. Ah, shit. Ooh, shit. Nice. I think that's... yeah. Substantially better than what I have. So I got silver plate at some point, which... yeah, that's why I have so much better defense now, I think. I still kind of got my ass kicked there. And this gets me another transport room. And that also leads to the top of Volross's quarters. I can't really remember what's up there. I'm a little bit concerned about dying, so I'm going to save. But, you know, it's an interesting comparison against something like Dark Souls, which is such an intentional and directed experience. And this game that I like for being similar in so many ways is the exact opposite. This game is all over the fucking place. It's bananas. It's like whatever they could think to add. And it's really cool that way. Okay. I think that I can still make progress from here. I don't know. I remember that this place connects to the Colosseum, but I don't remember whether it does it from up there, which I can't get to yet, or over here, which I can. I'm just going to be bypassing these guys, having killed them once. Come on. Why am I not getting this? There we go. I always check that wall for a secret passage. Ah, excellent. Okay, I'm gonna go back down and get that other thing that I missed before. Since it's not very far away now, and I have the thing I need. unfortunately, and I can't remember whether I mentioned this. As I mentioned, there was another video that I started and had to stop because it wasn't capturing properly. The first episode in this series got content ID matched, which, you know, it's not pragmatically a big deal since I don't really make any money off of these anyway, but I don't know, it's disappointing to me. That's right, I do remember talking about this a little bit. Sorry for repeating myself. So that's the Alucard gear, which I played through basically the entire time with last time. And it's a hilarious set because it's basically terrible. It's made, you know, it uses the same sprite and it uses the same sprite as the Alucard gear that you start the game with, and it's terrible. It has like 0 in every category. So it's basically just not equipping anything in those slots, except for you still have some of the pragmatic benefits, such as you have the range. It has the same attack animation as the Alucard sword, which is actually a really good attack animation. It's very fast. And you can't use the special ability on it, but you have this very fast attacking, you know, essentially the attack animation of an endgame sword within a terrible sword that has 0 damage. But what makes it actually kind of good is if you equip all of them, you get a huge luck boost, which, you know, you'd think, okay, that's just good for finding items, but it actually ends up, you get so many crits using it that it actually ends up being surprisingly effective. It's still not as good as just using normal equipment, mostly because your defense is terrible, because you don't get defense benefits from either the shield or the armor. But offensively, you're actually still fine, which is kind of funny. Oh! Okay, let's move some of these guys out. They slid behind me. Axe is fine. And in case you missed me saying it before, I'm avoiding the holy water just because it's actually the best sub-weapon in the game. And it makes a lot of things way too easy. Basically, any enemy that stands on the ground is a joke when you have the holy water. So I love the ridiculous, like, smooth jazz of the Colosseum of all fucking places. This is the chillest Colosseum ever. So that's a place I can't actually get yet, because I don't have the high jump or the bat form. That was also the last secret that I ever found in the game, because that one's really hard to find if you don't know where it is. This isn't a very difficult boss fight, but let's first open up this shortcut. Sure, I'll take that one. That's an unusual. Oops. That's an unusual one at least, so more interesting to have than, you know, these sub-weapons I've used a million times before. This is the rarest sub-weapon in the game, which actually does not make it very good. So probably I'll fight these guys, beat these guys. That'll probably be the episode, pretty much. I may go around and collect some other things in this area. Actually, I want the shield rod. It's really good. So let's grab that first, actually. Let's just clear the real map, except for this guy. Oh. Oh shit, these guys are still alive. These gun guys can be really dangerous. Okay. That guy can also be kind of dangerous, but not as much as the gun guys. They do a ton of damage and knock you around. I mean, they're fragile and they can't attack very quickly, but man, they're pretty dangerous on balance. So why don't I clear out these other couple floors here and then I'll do the boss. Ah, always nice. The layout of this floor is super simple. It's basically just 3 layers. Oops, shit. These horse guys could be a pain. It might seem like they don't do any damage, but the fact is, if they actually hit you with that halberd that they're riding with, it actually does a heck of a lot. It's actually a fairly effective sub-weapon. I've never really tried it before. Okay, there isn't actually any items there. I guess the blade isn't actually vulnerable, it's just this one spot. Just her hand, really. There's a guy guarding an item here, I can't... Oh wait, no, I have been in here. I thought it was a different spot than it was. Where's the guy guarding the item then? I guess that's in the reverse castle. As I recall, these skeletons can drop a really good item. I'm not sure if this one here can, or if it's like another version of the same sprite that you can fight later. Is this one better, generally? Turns my luck down, interesting. That one has... I forget what its special property is. It like... Every enemy you kill drops a small heart, I think, something like that. Shit. For some reason I thought that was a road I hadn't gone down yet. Oh well. That huge, I don't know, I was about to say Taurus Demon. It does look like a Taurus Demon. I guess I would make it a Minotaur. In the background there is interesting. Though it's way bigger than the Minotaurs you actually fight in the game. It's just like a pretty wild background element to just throw in there. That's how much that does if they hit you with the blade. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this is bad. There we go. Those are the guys that get sad if you kill their owl first. Okay, this is the room I was thinking of. It's not actually a useful item. I don't know why it's stuck in my mind. Because this is a really interesting room is why. Like, look at this. This is so crazy. The palette just shifts completely. There's just this fountain here in the middle of this kind of ugly area full of yellow and orange. You have this complete palette shift. It's an interesting... I mean, this room just seems special, even though it isn't really. There's nothing really going on here. But it seems really special. It sticks in your mind. god. Oh no. I'm just not gonna fight this guy. Those guys are actually pretty dangerous. And I'm low enough on HP that I'm worried about dying. Okay, and boss fight. And ridiculous cutscene. Just looking at these bricks up here, these are rather interesting things. Remind me of like an old DOS game or something, because they're shaded so weirdly. And a ridiculous cutscene. Oh, gotta walk into it first.
Who are you? Open Hell's Gate! Come forth, my servants! The scent of your blood. You're a Belmont. Crush this flea who invades my castle!
It's a really good spell.
I'm certain that was a Belmont. So he says he's the lord of this castle.
You know, I kind of remembered Alucard's voice acting as being not very good, but actually sort of within the context of the other voice acting in the game. It's pretty solid. Whoa! Well, fuck. Oh, I guess I can just take this up. Okay, and let's use that library card we just got. Actually, well, I was thinking this is where I wanted to cut it. Oops, that's the wrong thing. But, yeah, okay. There's a save point right ahead. It took me a second to remember which button the missed button was. Oh, there's a guy. So let's equip this card. I forgot to even use the shield rod on that fight after I went to so much trouble to get it. But first, where's the library card? There it is. So I'm going to equip this so I remember what I'm doing next time. And for now, I will just cut this video. So, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, you know, like the video, recommend it to your friends, all that good shit. And I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day.